All right. I brought everyone together because I brought in the famous cartoon songwriter, Dr. Harry Hassenpfeffer. He's apparently written quite a doozy from what he told me yesterday for the new show ThunderCats.
I hear this guy is a genius.
Yeah, well, I heard he's just here because he's the boss's brother-in-law.
Hey, yeah, you guys wanted a... Hey, I hear you guys wanted a song about mutant cats. Well, I got just the song for you. Mutant cats are on the move. Mutant cats are smooth. Feel the magic, hear the roar. Mutant cats are loose.
The opening is okay.
Magic wonder, having fun. Mutant cats are wild. Stretching out when they're sun. Mutant cats get tired.
What?
Feel the fun fur, meow like hell. Mutant cats are loud. Arch the back out, backs like slinkies. Mutant cats are loud or proud.
Hell no.
Funky, scary, wild mutant cats. With the coupon you can get them cheap at Saks.
Isn't that a clothing store?
Let's get through this.
You use the catch like a scratching post. Shedding hairballs on your bed. Munching on your new pet bird. Yeah, your parakeet is dead.
Is he serious?
I'm just working on the bridge at the moment. I have this rising series of one-lines. I'll sing it for you so you can hear the tune, but I need something better here, okay? Alright. Mutant cats! Mutant cats! Mutant cats! Meow!
Meow?
Because they're cats!
We were thinking of making them powerful, so let's try it again, maybe with a roar, maybe?
What, just ad-lib?
Yeah, just so we can get a sense of the whole thing.
Mutant cats! Hey, new verse! Alright, litterbacks need to be changed. Ammonia fills up your house. Clawing up your bedroom wall just to find a mouse.
If you stall him again by asking dumb questions, I will gut you.
This is so bad. This is Edsel bad. This is Phoebe J and the 8-track player bad.
Harry? What did you think this show was about?
Mutant cats with magical powers, they get loose in the house.
ThunderCats. It's ThunderCats.
This has got to be the worst song I've ever heard.
Like you guys could do any better.
Actually, Harry, tell you what. Let us think about it over the weekend and we'll call you. We will call you, Harry. Oh, God. Oh, I don't even know where to start with this. Okay, let's work with what we've got. The first bit was catchy. We'll work with that. Why don't we get the other guy to rewrite it, the one we used last time? Yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah.
ThunderCats.
Hey, I'm Captain Blackheart.
And I'm Admiral Alexandros. Welcome back, and today we're talking about ThunderCats.
When'd you get to be Admiral?
Well, you're a captain, I'm upgrading myself too.
When?
Would you prefer Air Marshal?
Absolutely would
All
prefer
right.
Air Marshal. All right, so yeah, ThunderCats. This is going to be quite a show. It's got quite a catchy tune, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's see. ThunderCats Ho, On the Move. Let's see. Loose. Yeah, I'm just not going to touch this one. It's a little dirty, guy.
ThunderCats! Ho!
Ho! Dirty, dirty, little mind is... I got a lot to say about this one.
Well, that happens a lot with you and these shows from our childhood.
So, what do you think was first with this one? Seriously. Toy or tune?
Moon.
Moon? Oh, Moon.
Well, actually, guys, ThunderCats is pretty interesting. One of my favorite cartoons from childhood. The characters were drawn up in 1981 by an inventor named Ted Tobin Wolfe. Tobin Wolfe was a World War II veteran and lost part of his leg in the Battle of the Bulge. He designed the show to be a morality play.
A morality play?
Yes, it's basically all one large life lesson wrapped up in entertainment. The series was the only film or animation credit to Mr. Wolfe in his entire life. He made most of his money in patents.
Well, I suppose you're gonna say he invented the CD player or something.
Actually, he invented a battery-operated portable toy phonograph and a number of action figure toys, some board game mechanics, some dolls, and driving toys.
So, the man who invented ThunderCats improved the action figure. Okay, alright, I guess we could see that. Alright, so what episodes are we going to be watching today?
Well, it's funny the Moon mentioned a morality play, because this Nerdsbeard episode is focused on looking at the 2-hour-long ThunderCats pilot movie. The first episode in the movie is Exodus. Exodus is focused on getting them from Thundera to Third Earth.
Okay, I see. Well, Exodus opens with an overview of the entire first story arc, and it tells us pretty much what we're going to see.
Yes, kids, pay attention. These are the important parts of all the stuff you're about to see. Then we get to the epic theme.
Okay, so Thundera blows up like Krypton. We get all the nude ThunderCats. Yes, they're nude, kids. Escaping with the nobles all in one ship. The main cast of the show. All of them. And there's this larger fleet that sort of surrounds them, and all these refugees are slowly being blown out of the way and chased by these three groups of mutants, which are the Slithe, the Monkeyan, and the Jackalman. And they just go pew, 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 and annihilate each of them slowly.
Meanwhile, a 12-year-old Lionel gets some early lessons about the Sword of Omens, who these nobles are, where they're going, and this exposition is boring.
Pretty much. So, each of the accompanying ships, as I said earlier, are slowly being annihilated and eliminated and blown out of the way, and the nobles really just come off heartless, because they don't take any of the time to mourn their family, their friends, the people they're hanging out with, the king and queen, Lionel's mom and dad, nothing. No worry, no complaints, no crying, no boo-hoos, anything. Closest we get is Lionel is a little upset and sad, briefly.
Can we discuss the pink gauze weapons and the armor each is given?
Oh God, I guess we can, but it's not pink for long.
Okay, well, so Jaga Magic Magic's armor for the naked nobles.
Yes.
He puts pink ribbons on the weapons and gives it to them. Mm-hmm. All right? And just in time, because at that moment, the ship gets boarded by the mutants, who wants the Eye of Thundera.
Weapons versus the mutants.
Yes.
The mutants, despite having space tech to travel, are boarding the ship with spears, maces, and net guns.
Correct again.
They have lasers and explosives and are going to jump us with Roman Colosseum weaponry.
Uh-huh. Actually, a good point.
Why the inferior fighting technology?
Is it possible that they are trying to make the next battle seem fair?
Maybe.
The young Prince Lion-O is playing Billy Badass by trying to wield the Sword of Omens, and he's told twice, once each by Jaga and Tigger, that he's not yet strong enough for it once the mutants have arrived on the ship to attack.
What a waste of their government funds or something, man. I mean, billions of mutant government dollars all invested into this plot to steal the sword Eye of Thundera.
They run away when they see the Eye of Thundera. Sparkle sparkles like in the Monty Python script.
The mutants were under-equipped, but had some technology, much like the German army in World War II. And in this story of this was in the story of Exodus. And now, I'm not claiming Godwin's law here that all things lead to the Nazis, but the mutants do spend the time hunting down religious relics for a seemingly untouchable leader. And this leader does seem to have it in for our heroes who have just made a great exodus to a new Holy Land. And, like I previously mentioned, Tobin Wolfe was a World War II veteran.
So, after the battle with the invading mutants, they find a planet that is light years away, so they need to get in suspension pods.
Okay, now let's talk for a moment about Wily Kit and Wily Cat.
Okay.
Wily Kit doesn't want to get in the pod, so Wily Kit tells her,
"You're beautiful when you snarl."
Isn't he kind of like her brother? I mean, It's kind of flirtatious. It comes off weird.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, Jaga insists on piloting it as long as possible and gets all the way to fucking Jupiter. And Jaga then randomly dies, turning on the autopilot 2 planets from the end of the journey.
Now, it's implied that he spent the rest of his life awake and piloting the ship. What the hell? He could have survived the trip by just setting the ship to autopilot, waking up with the rest of the heroes, helping the ThunderCats set up the base, and died knowing the group had survived the journey rather than guessing.
Well, in a galactic sense, it's like if you decide to fly from Tokyo to London and decide to kick on the autopilot somewhere around Big Ben.
Interesting, but I still don't know what my next line is. And so the ship crash lands with Lion-O waking up first. Lion-O wakes up and realizes he's got these huge hands. Kind of like a hippie, man. Anyway, so Snarf remembers the mutants, but Lion-O doesn't. He's thinking it's a hippie joke again. But what really seems to follow is really odd, because there's several pointless minutes of Lion-O not remembering anything about who or what he is.
Well, then Jaga kind of reminds him, the sword is your thing, dude.
Oh, I hate the ghost metaphor. I hate mentors that are already dead. Now, it's cool if it's used every once in a while. Maybe it's a subtle reminder. Maybe it's a flashback sort of thing. But after a while, with this heavy-handed approach in every episode, it's like, dude, you're dead. Move on. Or I'm calling the Ghostbusters.
Remember, guys, this is supposed to be a morality play. Jaga starts off as Moses, who dies before he can reach the Promised Land, then reaches his apotheosis, becoming a god to the young ThunderCats, especially guiding young Lion-O into his future. He teaches Lion-O how to be a good leader and warrior as the godly spirit.
Okay,
That
that
might-
might explain a few things.
Alright, so anyway, the episode ends with everyone praising Lion-O, including a very quick flirt from Chitara, who knew Lion-O as a child just moments ago.
And so handsome, too.
Yeah, that just comes off creepy. Can we just move on to the next episode?
Yes, please. Okay, the next section, which counts as an episode in the minds of the network, The Unholy Alliance, focuses on the agreement between Mumra and the mutants.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, back in the Thundercat, Panthro wants to build a Thunder Tank.
Thunder Tank, okay. So here we're going to meet the villains of the Old Testament Hebrews. We've got the evil Egyptian pharaohs. What? I'm just drawing from what the professor said earlier. I can be smart.
Ass!
Hey.
The mutants go looking for a place to build a base and stumble upon a spooky pyramid. Let me tell you a little bit about this little spooky pyramid, okay?
Okay.
These mutants go up to this pyramid, okay? Fly right over it, and then suddenly the Mumra sees that they fly, sees it as a big thing, and disables their ship, and they come crashing to a halt. They get out of their ship, okay? They go inside the pyramid, all right? And Mumra sits there and says, hey, join me or die. And they said, hey, we don't got nothing to lose. We're just going to go ahead and get out of here. Mumra says, nope, that's not what's going to happen. And and they don't have any ship. And the mutants are jaw-dropped, and they go, for the life of me, I don't understand this. The mutants go, okay, I guess we don't have a ship now. I'm going to join you now.
Yeah, you can tell looking at every one of these villains that they're just waiting to backstab each other once they get the Eye of Thundera. Because you're right. He's just destroyed their stuff, and they're just going to join up. I have no answer for that. Now, wait, I have a question.
Okay.
They just ran away from the Eye of Thundera back in the previous episode.
Yes.
So now we're going to go back and try it again?
Mm-hmm.
But we just ran away from a 12-year-old last time.
Not that long ago. And how the hell, at least from this standpoint of the story, does Mumra know about this mystical Eye of Thundera from across the universe so he can send these mutants on the trap?
Well, anyway, back at the camp, we've got Lion-O, who wants to scout instead of helping with heavy lifting. I think we're all familiar with that if you've ever had a child on a camping trip. So, once again, he's showing his immaturity. The 12-year-old doesn't want to help and do the hard work of setting up.
He's basically 12. Sounds like somebody I know. Well, Tigra lets him get away with it, and Tigra's excuse is that Lion-O didn't have a chance to grow up mentally.
All right, well, but while he's gone, and once again, it wouldn't be an episode if he didn't get in trouble by being ambushed once again by the mutants. So he's got to call the ThunderCats with the cat signal. Na, 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 na. Wait, sorry, wrong thing. Anyway, and they come help him out.
And the mutants don't run away like they did before. Son of a bitch! They were scared before, but not now. There's a precedence of them running from the heavily sparkle sword held by the wee treasure troll. But now that Lion-O is a beefcake...
Treasure troll?
Now that Lion-O is a beefcake, okay, and is wielding that sucker with a vengeance, the mutants are gonna stick around? What gives? The dynamics are all wrong here.
Oh, the mutants get back to Mumra, who's gonna mock them for their foolishness and but I guess instead of mocking them, he just turns into Mumra, the ever-living.
And at that point, the only thing we know about Mumra is that he has magic, a secret weakness, and is probably the only indigenous life on this planet.
All right, so we've got Mumra, the ever-living. And he just sort of floats around, and he's going to confront Lion-O and be scary. And he just really doesn't have any scariness. There's no proof he's ever living, but Lion-O is just kind of terrified of him anyway.
Well, Lion-O drops the sword in the swamp, gets mud all over it, and suddenly can't call the ThunderCats.
Thus the weakness of the Eye of Thundera and the Sword of Omens. It doesn't work when it's covered in mud, which means Lion-O is going to have to spend hours polishing his sword so that nothing gets in the Eye of Thunder. The sword has to be really clean. Never mind.
But at least Lion-O can look into mirrors, because this secret weakness of Mumra the Ever-Living turns out to be funhouse mirrors.
What?
Like the claw shield, a gift from Tigger. Tigger gives Lion-O this claw shield, and at the beginning of the episode, which was a magic extra gift to Lion-O from Tigger, and at the beginning of the episode.
So he's a teenager on prom night with a pimple. Mumra's, I'm hideous! I need to hide! Don't look at me! I'm terrible!
You know what? This sounds like we need to go on to the next section called Burbles.
Is that really the episode name? No. Alright. You know, actually, it's okay. Let's actually do this episode, because this is the one that when I was watching it, I felt we were just sort of watching something we were just making up on the spot. We really just need one more episode to give to the network execs in order to make them happy. It's just something extra that didn't really ever feel needed. I'll set you up. Lion-O was once again exploring. Remember we said he was doing that in the last one? Basically, he's just shirking responsibility. And this time, he falls into a pit. I don't know why, but he gets captured by...
Ewoks!
Close enough.
Robots!
Closer.
Ewok robots!
Exactly. That's right. Ewok robots. They took the two cutest things about the Holy Trilogy and dumped it into the ThunderCats as an indigenous species. I mean, really, it's what we're thinking. Come on. These fuzzy little pieces of joy are called the Row-Bear Burbles. They've got a small amount of English skill, and they communicate mostly through charades. If the reboot had been done with the same mindset, they would have said...
Mr. Robo Bravos!
Close enough.
They beg this scary half-capped mutant person to help them, and he does. Then they return to him to their cute little Smurf village to offer them candy fruit. Those adorable, cute little obnoxious droid Smurfs give the ThunderCats sweet treats, like Halloween.
And Mumra's like, no, not on my watch. I ain't having none of this. And so he decides his response is to turn into a big horde of locusts.
And there was called forth a biblical plague of locusts to terrorize the peoples of Egypt. The Burbles. This plague of locusts is Mumra's plan to stop the tormented Thunderians from getting help. The crucial help of candy fruit.
Whatever. It doesn't work. Then he turns from a swarm into a big bug that Lion-O rides to a volcano and turns back into a swarm of mini bugs just above the volcano.
And Ghost Jaga comes to Lion-O's aid, saying, Luke, call your lightsaber. Sword of Omens. It will help you. And this is actually the one time that the sword doesn't cop an attitude.
which it didn't cop an attitude. It jumps to his hand, and magic, the sword helps him fly.
It's the comic book version of Thor.
Anime has that kind of stuff as well. Look at from the animator's point of view.
Okay, I can see that connection there. I can work with that. All right, so it's a fair call. Back to poor Mumra. Yeah, poor. After his plan is foiled, he must retreat sadly back into his coffin, thinking, "Oh my God, I'm so upset. My demon cricket plan didn't work. Oh, alas, I'm going to go pout in my sarcophagus until at least the next episode."
Can we talk a little bit more about the Robears before we move on?
I guess.
We already compared them to R2-D2, Ewoks, and Smurfs, but yeah, the village is very Smurf-like.
It is. It's little mushrooms. You're absolutely right.
There is one evident female. The cover and the coloring marks their leader.
You're right. There is one girl. She's got a little flower. You're absolutely right. But if you want to discuss truly how inane this is, you've got the food. Let's see. There's the candy fruit, the meat fruit, the bread fruit, yeah, it's just a lot of fruit. Oh, the worst! Veggie fruit!
Alright, well what trips me out is the name. Robert Burbles. It sounds like, I don't know.
French? Bonjour, je m'appelle Robert Burbles. Okay, yeah, it's stupid. It's bad.
Well, the Robears then volunteered to help the ThunderCats to build their cat lair. And in the space of a scene, a screen wipe, and a skip to the next episode.
Are we using the word magic? Because it is exactly magic. That lair is completely freaking built. And according to the blueprints on the episode, because I counted, the cat's lair is a 7-layer fortress with rotating head and garage paws.
Alright, they're not only Smurfy droid Ewoks, but they're Doozers from Fraggle Rock.
They're what from Fraggle Rock?
Doozers?
Yes, they are Doozers. And it really makes someone wonder if the bad guys are doing the same thing.
Alright. Actually, that brings us to the Slaves of Castle Plundar.
Episode.
Stay with me. This episode, we're in the home stretch. Because in this episode, we're going to see that the mutants are working on their own animal-shaped fortress. A gargoyle with real working wings.
Yeah, that's probably something the toy makers were designing, but didn't come to fruition. But when you take a look at these two fortresses, you have cats versus birds. There's a nice implication of who they are planning on winning.
Mm-hmm. Well, instead of pairing up and befriending the locals like the ThunderCats, the mutants have enslaved the local race of creatures called the Brutemen.
And, of course, this is discovered by Wily Kit and Wily Cat, who are once again exploring. So they discover the castle, they discover the slavery, and they rush back to the cat's lair. So after a quick combat, the Burbles must explain, "Oh, the Brutemen are gentle creatures." And, of course, the grown-up ThunderCats drop whatever they're doing to go take care of business for people they never met.
And this is exciting. We finally get to see Panthro's new toy, the Thunder Tank, in action.
Took him 2 episodes. Fair enough. So, we've got the Thunder Tank going in Scene A. So Lion-O's got to run off by himself and be the hero and save the day. He's going to leave the ThunderCats outside. He's going to rescue the Brutemen alone. And we saw how wonderfully that worked in the last episode.
All right, well, did the bad guys have a better plan here with the Demon Cricket? No! They leave the slaves defenseless while they divide up to fight the grown ThunderCats. 1-on-1. Mutants versus mutants. A great plan, because the ThunderCats totally kick their ass.
Anyway. After that, Lion-O lets the Brutemen go finally. And Slithe comes up with a great second plan.
What is this great plan?
From beneath his robes, he did pull from nowhere, in accordance with scripture, the holy hand grenade of Antioch. Holy hand grenade of Antioch is filled with warp gas that doth fill the Brutemen again and turn the Brutemen against Lion-O.
Well, Lion-O escapes before the gas wears out, so the mob turns on Panthro, and the gas wears off before they hurt him, and suddenly Slithe has another holy hand grenade.
Pardon me, but I thought there was only one holy hand grenade of Antioch, and the warp gas was banned by the Intergalactic Council.
Well, actually, technically, speaking for the Evil League of Evil, or whatever, when have rules ever stopped bad guys? When would we follow international rules? This is intergalactic, and whoever said there was only one holy hand grenade?
You're a hero, not a villain. Get over it.
More like a sidekick.
What was that?
Nothing. Now that I've had a moment to think about it, I believe that the point of the show is trying to accomplish here is the metaphoric example that we set international laws, but not everybody follows them. We can't not expect terrorists to follow the structures of the Geneva Convention when it comes to prisoners of war, but we must do so because we respect the laws and the rules.
Well, I think that's what Tigger meant, Tigra. But honestly, it is better to put the moral in the voice of a character mid-story than tagged at the end.
You do? Is that really how you feel? Because how I feel is I kind of like it at the end. I think it's important. It makes it easier at the end. It just explains it. Because spreading it out, the kid tends to miss it. That's my opinion. So, also we learned in this episode that the sword has another cool power. It can form a force field to deflect the gas. Apparently, it either spins or it blends or whatever, but anyway. At the end of the episode, the Brute Men are sent back against the mutant captors, and the Brute Men are finally free. You know, he's actually the one who understands that Lino is a cub in a grown body. He has to explain to him lessons that Tigra should have taught him earlier when Lino was growing at a normal speed.
Yeah, well, it's possible that by making Lino a child in a grown-up body, he is the audience's surrogate for the show. When a kid watches, that kid is a Lino, because Lino is just as mature as he or she is.
Good point on adding the she in there, because, everybody likes to enjoy ThunderCats.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, here's the question. This wraps up the first 4 episodes of ThunderCats. Is it the show worthwhile?
This show is absolutely worthwhile. As watching it, I was not disappointed by it at all.
Okay.
It brought up plenty of amazing memories from my childhood.
Okay.
I don't know about yours. But speaking of that, though, I want to highlight that watching the show as it was and seeing the new stuff. All right. So, in 2012, when I watched it, I was disappointed by it because they had completely changed the story into something from the Last Airbender story rather than the story that we had just watched earlier.
That bothered you?
Oh, yeah. Because instead of them going and fighting Mumra every time, it was they're roaming around finding different alien species from episode to episode, wandering around the entire planet.
I actually would be interested in that, and I'll tell you why, and as weird as it sounds, because it used to annoy me during shows when it would be first season, second season, third season, and I like a Monster of the Week idea. As weird as it's like, that's why I like shows like Supernatural. It's why I'm kind of liking. It's why I used to like Doctor Who before they started going back to Earth every time. I like the idea of it's like I like Star Wars or not Star Wars. What's the one with the ship that and the beaming? Trek.
Okay.
God help me, I forgot Star Trek.
Yes.
Okay, but I like the Monster of the Week. Seeing Mumra every time. You've beat Mumra. Obviously, you are more powerful than Mumra. Find someone else to fight.
Move on, right?
Move on.
That's a good point.
So that's
Absolutely
my
a good
preference,
point.
but that's just my preference. Okay, so you said you enjoyed it. What did your son think of it?
He enjoyed it with us, but I don't think he didn't enjoy it enough to keep watching the episodes beyond and beyond and beyond. So I think with a group it's fun, but by himself he's not going to watch it.
I think the other reason why they've probably changed the style of it to the way it is now is I think the stories that they needed to tell during the 80s were different than the stories that need to be told now.
Well, it doesn't really matter. We just canceled that first season anyway.
Was it really? I didn't know that. Okay. Anyway, don't forget to look us up, seriously, on the web.
All right. Follow us on Facebook on landofnerds.com. Fakebook,
Follow us on Twitter at Land of Nerds, please.
And follow us on YouTube. And subscribe to us on YouTube on Land of Nerds.
All right. What else are we missing? Oh, Instagram. Don't forget to follow us on the Instagram at Land of Nerds.
And, of course, see all the newest blogs and news on landofnerds.com.
Please, give me a reason to keep writing.